next person on the list is Matt. I think you should read the whole thing.
Actually, all I'm going to do is read two little parts, like two chapters. Some of my more favorite. Where the hell? Oh, there it is. And the next thing that happened after that was that the hard goal continued on its way perfectly normally, with a rather fetchingly redesigned interior. It was somewhat larger and done out in delicate pastel shades of green and blue. In the center of the spiral staircase, leading to nowhere in particular, stood in a spray of ferns and yellow flowers, and next to it a stone sundial pedestal housed the main computer terminal. Cunningly deployed lighting and mirrors created the illusion of standing in a conservatory overlooking a wide stretch of exquisitely manicured garden. Around the periphery of the conservatory area stood marble top tables on intricately beautiful wrought iron legs. As you gazed into the polished surface of the marble, the vague forms of instruments became visible, and as you touched them, the instruments materialized instantly under your hands. Looked at from the correct angles, the mirrors appeared to reflect all the required data readouts, though it was far from clear where they were reflected from. It was in fact sensationally beautiful. Relaxing in a wickerwork sun chair, Zaphod Beeblebrox said, "What the hell happened?" "Well, I was just saying," said Arthur, lounging by a small fish pool, "there's this improbability drive switch over there." He waved where it had been. There was a potted plant there now. "But where are we?" said Ford, who was sitting on the spiral staircase, a nicely chilled Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster in his hand. "Exactly where we think. Or exactly where we were, I think," said Trillian, as all about them. The mirrors suddenly showed them an image of the blighted landscape of Magrathea, which still scooted along beneath them. Zaphod leaped out of his seat. "Then what happened to the missiles?" he said. A new and astounding image appeared in the mirrors. "They would appear," said Ford doubtfully, "to have turned to a bowl of petunias and a very surprised-looking whale. At an improbability factor," cut in Eddie, who hadn't changed a bit, "of 8,767,128 to 1 against." Zaphod stared at Arthur. "Did you think of that, Earthman?" he demanded. "Well," said Arthur, "all I did was, that's very good thinking, you know. Turn on the improbability drive for a second without first activating the proving screens. Hey kid, you just saved our lives, you know that?" "Oh," said Arthur. "Well, it was nothing really." "Was it?" said Zaphod. "Oh, well, then forget it. Okay, computer, take us into land." "What?" I said, "forget it." Another thing that was forgotten was the fact that, against all probability, a sperm whale had suddenly been called into existence several miles above the surface of an alien planet. And since this was not a naturally tenable position for a whale, this poor innocent creature had very little time to come to terms with his identity as a whale before it then had to come to terms with not being a whale anymore. This is a complete record of its thoughts from the moment it began its life till the moment it ended. "Ah, what's happening?" it thought. Excuse me. Who am I? Hello? Why am I here? What's my purpose in life? What do I mean by who I am? Who am I? Calm down, get a grip. Oh, this is an interesting sensation. What is it? It's a sort of yawning, tingling sensation. Well, I suppose I better start finding names for things if I want to make any headway in what for the sake of what I shall call an argument. I shall call the word the world. So let's call it my stomach. Good. Ooh, it's getting quite strong. And hey, what about this whistling, roaring sound going past what I'm suddenly going to call in my head? Perhaps I can call that wind. Is that a good name? It'll do, perhaps. I can find a better name for it later when I've found out what it's for. It must be something very important because there certainly seems to be a hell of a lot of it. Hey, what's this thing? Let's call it a tail. Yeah, tail. Hey! I can really thrash it about pretty good, can't I? Wow. That feels great. Doesn't seem to achieve very much, but I'll probably find out what it's for later on. Now have I built up any coherent picture of things yet? No. Never mind. Hey, this is really exciting. So much to find out about, so much to look forward to. I'm feeling quite dizzy with anticipation. Or is it just the wind? There really is a lot of that now, isn't there? Oh wow, hey, what's this thing suddenly coming towards me very fast? Very, very fast. So big and flat and round, it needs a big, wide-sounding name, like ow, ow, round, round. That's it. That's a good name, round. I wonder if it'll be friends with me. And the rest, after a sudden wet thud, was silence. Curiously enough, the only thing that went through the mind of ball of petunias as it fell was, oh no, not again. Many people have speculated that if we knew exactly why the bowl of petunias had thought that, we would know a lot more about the nature of the universe than we do now. Now I'm going to go to... I'm going to go to chapter 23. It is an important and popular fact that things are not always what they seem. For instance, on the planet Earth, man had always assumed that he was more intelligent than dolphins because he had achieved so much: the wheel, New York, wars, and so on, while all the dolphins had ever done was muck about in the water having a good time. But conversely, the dolphins had always believed that they were far more intelligent than man, for precisely the same reasons. Curiously enough, the dolphins had long known the impending destruction of the planet Earth, and had made many attempts to alert mankind to the danger. But most of their communications were misinterpreted as amusing attempts to bunch footballs or whistle for tidbits, so they eventually gave up and left Earth by their own means shortly before the Vogons arrived. The last ever dolphin message was misinterpreted as a surprisingly sophisticated attempt to do a double backward somersault through a hoop while whistling the Star-Spangled Banner. But in fact the message was this: so long and thanks for all the fish. In fact, there was only one species on the planet more intelligent than dolphins, and they spent a lot of their time in behavioral research laboratories running around inside wheels and conducting frightening, elegant, and subtle experiments on man. The fact that once again man completely misinterpreted this relationship was entirely according to these creatures' plan. Thank you.
Okay. Now, if you were a Canadian pirate, you say, hey.
The next quote on the list.
Perhaps get an AR gun.
It's hard to believe that she actually featured here a year ago. In October.
Roundabout, yeah, next month. Next month.
No, she featured in October.
No, it was Teresa and Zach in October.
Really? Was it October? Okay. Well, yeah, she featured here in about a year ago. And she's now a resident here at the Collingwood Arts Center. And she barely ever comes to the reading.
Yes, those make her feel really bad so she doesn't come back.
She'll come back.